Hello, y'all. Hey, Ace. How's it
Hello,
going?
I'm good.
I'm
Hello.
echoing. Am I
Oh
echoing
yeah,
on you?
yeah, that was me. Can
Okay.
you? That was me. I had a different tab open.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, oh my God, that was weird. Okay, I'm going to say hey to learner0418 and Yurt to Nick. What's up?
Hello,
Uh,
Nick.
he's probably here to help us write some tests today. Okay, guys. So basically, how this stream's gonna go? It's gonna be a short, quick one. We're gonna write a couple of tests, but first we'll like reflect on like our like 2 months or so here. Like I think it's all basically a month, 2 months for me at this company, and then after that we'll write a little bit of tests. I think me and Ace probably already got started on some of those, but it's just good for you to see that if you wanted to write playwright test for your Web5 projects as well, like how you would do it. But I will say, I'm gonna do a disclaimer. I don't know about Ace, but I'm not an expert on writing tests. I kind of just look at patterns and I'm like, this seems to work, so I'm gonna just
Yep.
keep going. Are you the same, or I don't know?
Yeah, it's the same for me. I've not had like a lot of reasons to write tests
Yeah.
throughout my career, but we're trying to build more stable, example projects, example applications, a much improved developer experience for everybody. And one way to do that is, to write tests and also show people how they can, write tests for their Web5 applications. Because we're all about, showing what we're learning and taking people along that same journey as well.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say, oh, Nick said,
Hello,
hey,
everybody.
months. Yeah, hey, Ebony. No, I have not been here long. I think Ace, you've probably been here for like 2 months and 2 weeks. And
Yeah,
then, like I said, writing tests are very underrated. I will say
yeah.
the same as you for my career. Like when I was a software engineer, I worked at like startups that were like, just put it out, forget about the test. And like sometimes we would be like, let's write tests. And like they wouldn't really care what test I wrote. So I would just write a
Yeah.
test. I'm like, so I never really had that opportunity to write that many tests. But I think this job has been like a good opportunity to like maybe tap into some stuff that we haven't gotten to. Therapeutic. I feel stressed when I write it. What about you, Ace?
I feel like I can get used to it. But like for every project, every framework feels like they have their own like what's it called? Best like functions or uses, and aside when you're using like this third party, standardized testing suite, it just
Yeah.
feels like I'm like lost half of the time.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping like if I have to like write more of this, then I just get more comfortable because at the end of the day, it is the same things. Like, oh, do you confirm that this page contains this? Is this thing working? Are you returning this? Is it exact? Like, it feels like it's. I mean, I don't want to speak too much, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know you can speak a lot. I agree. I think this will be a good opportunity. Okay, so
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do, I have a couple of questions to ask about like your time here, and then me, I'll answer too. I think it will kind of flow well into what you were saying about like
Hmm.
improving your skills, and then you had some stuff you wanted us to show, like the new Web5 release and highlighting some of the new pages, and then we'll dive into the test. That I was gonna say we just I think I messaged you. I was like, we could just rewrite them so people see. But forget all of that. We already wrote our test. So you could just, I mean, is that okay? Which one do you prefer? Do
Yeah, I think
you,
so. We could just explain what we're trying to do, why we made some choices, and also
and
encourage people to try check it out.
then Nick can tune in. I mean, not tune in, chime in if he's like, oh, this is what you're doing wrong. And then I think
Yeah,
Nick also wanted us to show the the board, like the the board where we were assigning ourselves like
yeah.
thing stuff. So
Okay.
question. Oh wait, there's a person here that said, "Hey chat, while speaker are introducing things." Oh, okay. I should have read the whole thing. Yeah, I guess they'll introduce themselves in the chat, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Welcome, Chris.
cool. So my question to you, this had nothing to do with tech. Have you watched or Attack on Titan? Did you finish it? Did you
Wait,
did
have I
you
watched what?
Loki or Attack on Titan?
Yeah, I've watched both. I'm a huge fan of both. I am budding with glorious purpose. And Shishi Sasageyo. really, I
How,
don't know.
how did you
Um,
feel about the endings?
which one? Because both endings were crazy, right?
Of both. Like, I don't know. You could do Loki first. Well, no, Attack on Titan first, then Loki.
Attack on Titan was very profound because at the end of the day, wars will continue to happen. The world is not going to change much. I'm sure, like looking at the current state of the world right now, I'm sure after World War One, they're like, "Oh, we should never let this happen again. People should not die like this." And then World War Two happened,
Yeah.
and then there are genocides everywhere. There are war crimes everywhere. There are like fights everywhere. People, people are dying. There's almost like a war every single day. And I
Yeah.
think with Attack on Titan, the way it showed is that in that specific moment, in that present moment, what freedom meant to Eren was that he's going to protect the people that he loves, that are available, that is people that mean the most to him. And doesn't care if he has to like destroy the entire world for it. But then I like the end credit because at the end of it, then it showed like even though they found peace or freedom for a certain period of time, the world is doomed to always be in conflict. So they
Back to
still
where
went
it
through the
was.
cycle of conflict. And then
Yeah.
they're like industrial revolution, bombs, everything. It's just like, so what's the purpose of it all? I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I like that too. And it finally gave me an explanation because I was like, why is Aaron doing this? I was so
You're
confused.
right.
Also, let me say hi to Raymond from Louisiana.
Hello, Raymond. So I think you should answer the Loki one. How did you feel about the Loki ending?
Okay. Low key, I was like, I felt okay. I felt sad for Loki because I was like, wow, that would now he has to just stay there by himself for years. But I also was like, he finally found his purpose. I thought it was a beautiful way to
Found
like
his strand?
wrap things up. Yeah, and I was like, Loki's definitely a top five Marvel character in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. So we can go into like the our I just like to talk about other stuff. That way it's like not as nerve wracking. Like, oh my God, I'm in like 5 seconds. All right.
Yeah.
So my question, well, I guess this is for both of us, but I don't know, whoever you want to answer first, is like so far in your 2 months, like what's been like the most favorite project that you worked on or initiative so far at TBD?
I think adding initiative makes it very interesting. But I would say project was, I mean, I like the share to do app because for me it was like expanding into like a new section, actually using protocols.
Mm,
But you also kind of answered questions about like the entire protocol, the entire structure.
yeah.
To add answers, for example, how do deeds communicate? How do I store, records or information in people's DWNs? How do I fetch it? How do we synchronize data? So being able to build like the shared to do app, I should probably share a link to it so it makes um, it's easier for people to follow. 1 second, I'm gonna find that real quick. Is it apps? Be the shared to do app. Yes. I'll be dropping this in the comments real
I did it
quick.
for you.
Oh, you did already. Oh, gotcha. Thank you. So yeah, like just being able to build that, and building the application allowed me to like get someone else's DID and send, have communication between two DIDs, um, access DWN, share information, own it, configure protocols, set permissions, stuff like that. So it felt like I was starting to get my hands like really dirty. And also, I mean, along the journey, we've been able to speak with people here on the stream that have introduced very exciting applications, like, for example, in autonomy, and just seeing how DWNs and AI, obviously, and so many other parts of current technology landscape can work together and actually make it more realistic, make it more possible for like the world to embrace decentralized web, basically.
I love that. Yeah, your share to do app is really good. And I did think writing our apps helped us to like start
Mm.
connecting pieces a bit more. I
Yeah.
think my favorite was my talk at GitHub Universe. I think because the first talk I did where I tried to like incorporate Web5 a little bit, it was a little weak. I was like, I like to give good talks, and when the talk is like mid, I was like, but I think that was just like reflective of I didn't really have a good grasp on the concepts of within Web5, so I was like trying to explain it, but I was like, I'm not certain on this. But
I get
my
you.
yeah, but my like second talk was way better, and I feel like I did it really creative. Like I did like the little follow the future reference. I got to like combine like parts of like Copilot and Web5, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the audience was actually listening. So that was like my favorite. I was like, I felt confident talking about Web5 to other people. And then I like helping to answer questions in the Discord because I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, trying to understand it just a little bit.
100%.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
also brings me back to like talking about like projects or initiatives. Some of the new pages that were added to the documentation. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Because the goal was also for us to like as we're learning, as we're coming across errors, making sure that people are also able to find how to build stuff and how to solve common errors, right? So we've been able to add like a troubleshooting guide for some of the common errors we find. Let me see if I can put the link in chat for anyone looking to find some of this as well. Um, and this is all under like the Web5 SDK. So you see JS troubleshooting guide, just a couple of instructions on how to fix common errors. Well, we also have like the JS framework section that kind of highlights how you can use Web5 across multiple JavaScript frameworks. So a lot of we get questions like, oh, can I do this in React? Can I do this in Angular, React Native, or the cases? I mean, we're expanding this knowledge base, but it feels good to like start advancing this developer experience for people that use or are very familiar with specific frameworks, specific tools to also know that it is very much possible. You can absolutely build applications using whatever framework of your choice for Web5. So yeah.
yeah. I was excited that you like built out those pages too. At least got them started because I think that was needed. And then
Hmm.
I guess we can go into since you're already sharing, like
Okay.
the 5 release that just happened, like we can chat about some of the stuff that happened within that new release.
Yeah, let me pull that up on GitHub real quick.
Yeah.
How's everyone in chat doing?
Yeah, where y'all what's y'all up to? I know that last we saw, Nick said he loves the concepts of AOT, but that he was too annoyed about too much. I love it. I love Attack on Titan. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, so we do have a bunch of technical changes. We're able to do credentials in Web5.js. We have a bit of updates on how you filter records, how you read records. All of that is also available. Um, Let me see, what else do we have here? Mm,
Did that method?
what's that?
Did DHT method?
Yeah, we also have that. What that does is basically a different approach to generating your decentralized identifiers and being able to have a new standard versus Ion and just being able to create that. So I feel like I like to mention again that we should go to like are we Web5 yet? That's like the website. Let me see if I can share it real quick just for people to get a glimpse into the fact that this is work in progress. It's amazing to see what the entire community is building, the organization is building, and yeah, awesome stuff. You meet it.
Yeah, I realized. I was like, wait a minute. I was gonna say, and the other thing that I'm excited about, I think this is in
Hmm.
is since we updated to the like newer DWN SDK is now we can do like protocol or role based protocols. So basically instead of just being like, oh, if you're the recipient or the author, you can view this, you can be like, oh, you can give someone a role like they're a member or admin, allow them to do certain actions, like be able to respond to a message or be able to read or view a message. Learner said 85% done? Question mark.
Oh yeah, I believe that's what the website says.
Yeah. According to the website, we're 85% done. We're almost there. All right. um, Let me see if there's anything else that you particularly wanted to hit. Um, I think you said, oh, we can talk about the fact that like why we're going into testing our as example apps at this point. And let's show that board. Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Present. Share. Okay. Yeah. So the open source programs team, which includes Nick De Jesus and Andrew or ALR and Leo, basically they are doing a great job at just making sure that our releases are stable, especially for the developer website. So we just released, as you heard, Web5 0.8.2. But we want to make sure that for the next release, everything goes smoothly and we as like DevRel don't have to like manually test each part of our applications. So what they did is like, okay, we're gonna test all the code snippets because the Web5 SDK has changes to it, and we want to make sure that like if something's failing, we'll be able to know which code snippets failed and like how we can update it. So we made a whole bunch, or they made, not we, they made a whole bunch of like different tickets of things that we needed to make sure had either like browser tests with Playwright or like just unit tests. So we got assigned to some, like I got assigned to Dinger, and then you got assigned to yours. What was it? Share to do completed. Anything you
Mhm.
I should add on that?
Sorry.
I said anything I should add on that?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, with the title of the stream as well, I wanted to explain and just show how we were looking to test some of these examples, especially if it comes in helpful for anyone else that is building, Web5 applications that want to also test it. I think you can do beyond what's it called? Just browser test for Web5 applications, but in this case, we wanted to also go with browser test to keep being. Sorry, I got distracted by the question.
Hmm.
Cannot African. I'm guessing that's referencing the hackathon, Tarun.
Yeah, if you're referencing the hackathon, we have three hackathons going on right now. And one is Dev Career, and I think that is geared towards like the African community
Yeah,
right now. But we
there's the
have,
diff hackathon too.
yeah, there's the Dev Hackathon and then there's the Dev Post Hackathon. And I can just show those right now. Sorry, we got a little distracted, but it's a good question. So this is a Dev Hackathon. No, this is Dev Post Hackathon. And it ends January 8th, 2024. Anyone can participate in this. I'll post it in the chat. Sorry, I interrupted you, Ace.
No, it's all
Um,
right.
There's the Diff Hackathon,
Mm-hmm.
which this is a partnership with other projects within the decentralized space. So there's like Trinsic and TBD and Polygon. You can participate in that. That one ends in, when does that end? December 2nd. And then there's the Dev Career Hackathon. And that one is, I think, more geared towards the African community. So if you are residing in Africa, like this might be the one for you. It's going from November 20th to December 15th. So yeah, check those ones out. You can go back to what you were saying, Ace.
Yeah, I was gonna. We could just get right into the test. Maybe show like a web page of Playwright and what Playwright is. Maybe.
Okay.
I wish Nick was up here so he could come and do this explanation part. Hello, Nick.
Yeah. So I've never really, I think I used Playwright once for Applet
Mm-hmm.
Tools webinar. I pretended I knew how to do it. Um, but I think for me, it's just what I know of Playwright is what it says here. It's like an end-to-end testing for browsers. So basically, we're just checking to see like if our web applications load, is Web5 like connected? Is it able to actually do the actions that we want it to? And Nick said, to be honest, I can jump in right now if y'all can set it up.
I'm gonna send him a link.
Hey, come through.
Okay. All right, Nick.
Oh, hey, Toby. Is it happening? Yeah, we about to write some tests. I actually have some of mine already written.
Yeah, you can share that. I'm getting Nick in here.
Okay.
All
Let me coming
right, Toby,
through.
how's it going? Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, what's going on? Um, Let me pull these up. Where is it?
Do you want to share your existing text?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Made
doing.
up.
Give me a quick second.
Mhm, mhm.
I just have like so many Visual Studio Code open. Hey Nick.
Hello, Nick.
Hold up, hold up. I gotta I gotta mute things and turn volume off and all kinds of stuff over here. Can y'all hear me?
I like your Udi.
Yes,
Yes,
we
we can hear you.
can.
I like AOT. um yeah, I'm here. What did y'all want me to explain? What's up, everybody?
Hey, I think he was
Hello,
saying
Nick.
just explaining what Playwright is. I'm not even sure.
Oh yeah, so
Oh, just talk about test in general. Yeah, like, oh, this is our test in Web
yeah,
5.
yeah. So we kind of have like two types of tests. I mean, we have a lot of types of tests going on, but just
Mm-hmm.
specifically for our developer site, we have the code snippet tests. So what that means is like a lot of the code snippets you see if you go to the developer site and you see like someone doing some Web5 stuff on a tutorial or example or something, that code snippet is actually runnable code under the hood, and we're making sure that those code snippets are working. And so those are tests that are being done by, I don't know how y'all say it. I say Vite, like Vite tests. Some people, Leo says Vite tests. What's the actual answer?
I say
I said
V.
V test.
Oh my God. Okay, Vite test. I'm out here sounding like a noob. So, so Vite test, we're using VTest to test those specific code snippets. So for
Yeah.
example, we want to make sure a Web5 Connect is working. We want to make sure a record is being returned. You see this function in front of us right here, records.create. Like we want to make sure that those values are coming back as expected. And then so the next level, the only thing that's kind of untested right now are the tutorials themselves. However, it's a lot to ask y'all to go ahead and write tests for every single function in the tutorial. Like that's a
Yeah.
wild amount of work. So we figured we'd do browser tests instead. And what the browser test is going to do, and this is a whole realm that's new to me. I just learned about this stuff like a couple weeks ago. But what happens is it it's a tool to run your application in a browser environment and even
Mm-hmm.
handle interactions and stuff without a person having to actually do it. So for example, I just recently merged the PR for the to do completed and the to do starter,
Startup. Yeah.
and all that does is it's a programmatic way of running the app, waiting for Web5 to connect, clicking add to do button, and then making sure that the to do is added to another UI element on the page. And so that is not as thorough as testing every single interaction, but we know for a fact that you can at least do this very basic functionality. And we feel pretty good about that. Like I personally feel like if someone can add a to do, then the rest of the application should be fine for the most part. We're really trying to catch like major API changes. If the structure of the response coming back from adding the to do, which is I guess creating a record under the hood,
Mm-hmm.
if creating a record significantly changes in the way it responds after it's done, we'll be able to catch that through the to-do app, and then we'll know that our tutorial is broken and that our users going through the tutorials are not going to be doing things that work. And so then that just kind of flags it for us. And then all of that is captured within GitHub Actions. You just run pnpm test at the root level. It goes through all the code snippet things through vtest, and then it runs the browser test, and then it makes a little report. Is Ace okay? He just vanished.
I'm okay.
Okay. so so basically that's like the high level breakdown. I set up all this like Playwright browser test infrastructure,
Yeah.
and I made the contribution guide for I updated the contribution guide for handling the Playwright tests.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, it would actually be, I'm here to support and help, of course. It would be really good feedback for me though to just kind of watch y'all go through the steps, and do your best.
Okay.
If I see anything wrong like that I could probably do better or fix or whatever, sure, like I'll jump in and support. But for the most part, it'll be pretty fun seeing y'all chip away at this. And
Okay.
in my instructions, I literally tell y'all to use Chat GPT, so that's pretty exciting.
I
Yeah.
loved it. No, I think we cheated. Like me and Ace already wrote it,
Oh,
but I
you
didn't
did?
write it. Yeah, we didn't write it for the starter one. So I mean, I didn't. So I'm like, I could show you. The only thing I think, and I already knew this, but I'm like, could be more clear if there's like a new person that doesn't work here, is just telling them to create, because you say add or modify the playwright configuration, but just tell them to create the playwright.config.js file. I was
Oh,
like, maybe
okay.
if you're really new, you might be like, where does this go? But I already knew.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
you know what happened? I did have instructions for that, and then I copied and pasted it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT actually removed that section, and I didn't proofread after, so I just got caught there. So I got to add
Yeah,
that.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Why did it remove that? I got to have a
I
conversation.
had the same thing actually when I came across that, because I was like, oh, what file am I supposed to create? Then I
Yeah.
just checked the other examples and oh, this file. So I think that's a good catch.
Yeah,
Definitely.
good catch. See, that's my fault because I just trusted, the AI. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let me let y'all do your thing. I'm gonna like just mute myself and just watch.
Okay. I'm gonna do it.
Word.
Scary hours.
It's scary for me too.
All right, I'm gonna do it for the Dinger starter one because I already started for the Dinger completed. So first off is I gotta create that playwright config file. So it's like
Yeah.
playwright.config.js. And then the next thing was pasting this in here. And I feel like there was more. There's no way this was just it. Playwright. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this one. Yeah, it had the import statement. So I feel like ChatGPT removed that too. Maybe I don't know, but no biggie. Okay. Actually, what? What did I do for the dingers completed? That looks very different than yours. Playwright config. I think I just copied this. Is this right, Nick? Hold
Yeah,
on.
that's what I did. So
The
I did an
difference.
import and then I
But
copied
now,
it.
You should be able to literally copy and paste that.
oh, so I don't need to do that import thing?
This export default. That was just an example in case you wanted to customize the original thing.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
It's very likely you won't ever have to do that, but that I just wanted to put that example there just in case.
Okay, cool. Because I'm like, I didn't pay attention to that part last time. Perfect. So then package.json, I think you said we needed to run these on different ports. The other one's already running on 8080. I can't run it on like 8082 or something random. And then put the test in there. Doo-doo. Comma. Paste. Ace disappeared again. 8082. Nah.
We'll be back soon.
Next thing I want to do is create that test file. And I did end up asking ChatGPT what I should do. So I'm gonna just copy and paste most of it, and I'll just tell y'all what was in it.
Word. Chris had a question. Is it mandatory to have basic knowledge of Web3 so that we can be good at Web5? It is not mandatory at all. I've never written a single line of Web3 code in my life, and I kind of just joined TBD and got exposed to it. It's honestly, you don't need to have any Web3 anything.
Yeah, you really don't. I don't know a lick of Web3. I be just listening to people and I'm like, oh, that's how Web3 works. One way to start, if you were like, let me see, how do I get started? Is we got a like quick start guide. That's how I made like my first one. I was like, okay, it kind of gives you an idea of how you would like create records and store them, update them, edit them, basically like credit functionality. And then we have some applications if you want to step it up a little bit, like a book review, a to-do app, a shared to-do. That should give you a better understanding of how the project works. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste this, and um,
Did
what
you
did I
answer
do?
the question on the screen?
Yeah,
Yes.
just answered. Just answered it. Do you want to add to it? Because you might have more thoughts.
Oh,
Dang.
I mean, I took a break real quick, so I was gonna say like I didn't have like an extensive knowledge of Web3. We're not doing a ton of Web3 stuff, so you can absolutely get familiar, get comfortable, and also build amazing Web5 applications, even if you are new to the entire decentralized space.
Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna just change this part, and because it's the starter, you can't actually send anything. So I'll delete this. Basically, how I had it for the completed is I checked if it rendered the title. I checked if, because you said that something had to happen, like a UI change had to happen if Web5 got connected. So I just,
Yeah. Can I just explain that a little bit real quick?
yeah, feel free.
So basically, the Web5 Connect function does take a while. So and we basically can't do anything Web5 related until that completes. And so, yeah, for these testing purposes, um, the easiest way to check if Web5 has completed is by updating a UI element after it's done, and then running the whatever logic that follows after that. That's all that is.
Yeah, perfect. I'm glad you explained it. And I'm about to do it for the starter one because I realized I don't think I did. So I think I checked is Web5 connected. So I'm like checking to see if these like variables happen. I pass it in as a prop somewhere. Dinger starter index. Yeah. I'm gonna put it in the sidebar, paste, and then inside of the sidebar, what did I do? Oop. I think, yeah, I did this. Button group. Was it in here? Perfect. So basically this button only shows up if like Web5 connects. Like you said, it takes a little bit of time. And then the next thing that happens, but only for the completed one, is it checks if like a ding is successfully sent or a message is sent, and then it like shows up on the UI. I have a question though, y'all. Because from my knowledge, you're not really supposed to like or I don't know, maybe I have bad knowledge. You're not supposed to like put in like real values and stuff like that. But I felt like what I read on chat from ChatGPT was I had to put in an actual recipient did for it to actually send. Is that bad? Ace, did you have to do that, or Nick? Do you know?
So I didn't have to do that for the starter. Oh, sorry, Nick. Because the starter was not like wasn't testing any what's it called, sending or copying on the starter. I was just say, is this loading? Is everything fine? Is the UI fine? Because the scope of my starter is just UI. So I don't know what the scope of your starter is. But when it completed, I'm doing a different test. I'm doing a different test like does Web5 actually connect? Because for what's it called? For the shared to do app, you need like the names of the list, of course. You also need an active DID. So I'm not planning to put in an active DID because then that would be, I don't know, too hard coded. So I think Nick might have a different opinion on that.
Yeah.
From my experience, like, isn't a unique thing created every time? So if you hard code something in, it just won't work.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't know. I was just like, that was the response I got from ChatGPT. It was like, put in a recipient, like a real recipient DID. And I was like, that's weird. I don't think I need to do
Right. So I
that.
think it's supposed to come from the page itself, in which honestly, like, I don't think you have to do this because you already have a UI change based on Web5 connecting, right?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Like, you could stop caring about anything else, like any of the data at that point. And
Okay.
so Playwright has a method, I think it's called like wait for.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
and
that's
let me see if I could find it on my own thing. But yeah, it has a method that's called like wait for, and and then you select the element. Like you could make a fake ID and for the element that updates or changes or whatever or
Mhm.
appears, and then you can tell it to wait for that to go through, and then you could just skip the whole like did thing.
Perfect. Cool. All right. So I will do that. I'm like, let me see.
Let me I'm gonna try to find what I did because I had to add this to the shared, I mean not shared,
The
to
to
the
do. I have
screen.
yours pulled up right here. Because
Oh yeah.
I did do something a little similar. Like I wait for the button to be visible with the text.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then I did an extra thing. So I was like, is that extra thing unnecessary? It's not like it's unnecessary.
I think it's unnecessary to be
Okay,
honest.
cool. I think I'm good then. And after that, Ace could show his speaking about Web5 at Blockchain Conf in my city. Oh, that's so good. I'm excited. Is it gonna be recorded? Can we see it? Okay, I'll stop sharing so that Ace could show his. Same syntax and everything. Is Web5 part of a package dependency, or I can see you writing mocks, so I got curious. What do you mean?
I'm assuming they're new to Web5. So there's the Web5 SDK, if that's what the question is, that allows you to build Web5 applications in your JavaScript frameworks. Let me share the link to that for you to get started. Right. I don't share screen. Let's see. I have a
You
bunch
said you
of.
want me to share screen?
No, I was asking if it was my turn to share my screen.
Oh yeah, I think mine is done because it sounded like I was just doing an extra thing I didn't need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine to me.
Okay, cool.
One second, because mine is incomplete. Let me share my screen. Present. Share screen. Ta-da. There. That is a lot. Anyways, I'm gonna just show what it looks like with the tests are passing. Because right now we have a couple of tests in the what's it called, in the project. So Nick, as you mentioned, has already done a bunch of tests, especially for like the to-do starters, and I'm currently working on the one for share to do. See, very similar to what Rizella has done in our Next.js package. But like I mentioned earlier, like Playwright is the unique suite. So a lot of the functions, a lot of the code is very similar because you are writing through Playwright itself. An example here would be, I'm trying to close a bunch of this. So for example, with the to-do starter, you need to create a unique, what's it called, a unique port for your application, because that's one of the things I also ran into, because I was like, do I have to specify a unique port for each example project, right? Or do we just use one central port doing the testing loop? But when you start to look at stuff like this, let me share my screen again. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So right now we're testing three sections of Playwright, and also testing. Can you see my screen? Yes.
Yes. Oh, I actually have a question. After you do that, I have a question about the different browsers. Keep going though.
Yeah. So basically, Playwright gets to test all the apps that we've been able to do, right? With across different browsers, and each step of the way, right, with the code. Before hooks, are you able to go to the URL? Do you find an ID on the page that you want to? Is this true? Do you find a content that you're not specifically looking for? So this is basically all browser related stuff, front end stuff, just to show that this some of these things are conditional, because if the Web5 is connected, then they're able to process this, right? And then the next one would be the to do. Let me do the to do completed. Some of these I was asking on Discord actually, Nick, as to why these other ones were breaking.
Yeah, can we click on one of those? It could be that something is missing locally.
I assume so. Could
Uh,
Playwright itself?
executable doesn't exist. So you have to run that command right there. You see pnpm exec playwright install. So
Yeah.
I want to look into that because obviously, like once you clone this repo, all this stuff should be there and should be
Yeah.
available. So I don't know how that gets, I guess, like excluded. But I think that's the problem. I'm confident that if it's working with what Chrome and Edge, then the rest should be fine.
Sounds good. Um, so basically, real quick, how do I go back? I have no idea. Anyway, so this is the what's it called? The to do completed. And it's showing the two tests for each one because this time around instead of having just one test, you have two for it. And it's showing allowing I think adding it to do. This goes beyond like just loading the page, right? And it's also similar to what I'm eventually going to do with zoom down. Yeah, with the share to do app. So I just wanted to show this instead. So we go to the page, you fill in the text area. This is like actual actions on the page, which is like super amazing. So you're able to fill text with it and then click the submit button or with Playwright. And then you're able to go through the submission and then check if the UI changes based on the new data that is added to it. And I think that's like super cool to just be able to do that from your CLI or your scripts, right? So for me to do that for the share to do, excuse me, real quick. So the share to do is a bit different because I would not be like filling the form yet because I need to send that to remote city ID. I want to skip that part. So once Web5 is connected, I'm going to wait for the selector, right? Does the copy DID come up? And then if that does come up, and then okay, yes, this is working fine. So I think the step here or where I stopped last time I was checking it was okay, this is a bunch of like just copied code. Let me clear that and stop here first. So it's like, okay, I'm waiting for the page selector to go. Like, so at what point do you evaluate like, hey, if this just come up, just end the test, so this test is correct, right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I was gonna go back to what's it called? To the completed. Where's your test? Yes, for this. So for the test that we wrote for it to do, it goes through the entire step. It checks and waits for the selector. So the selector exists, but it's not affirming, it's not checking. It's just literally just waiting. And then once that comes up, it fills the text, and this is the final test result, right? This is what moves it on to the next step. Like, are you expecting this? And I'm curious, like there are multiple expects. So if one of the expect fails, while the other one goes on, is the test successful, or does it have to be the very last expect?
For it to be successful, it has to. Well, no, if it fails up above, it doesn't even make it to the rest of the stuff. It kind of fails immediately. I think there is a configuration or like some kind of method you can tack on that would still like acknowledge the failure and then move on. But in this
Yeah.
case, it doesn't make sense to move on since it's like you literally can't do the next things.
I see.
Yeah, but this does actually look a little weird because I think it's doing like the same thing twice. Check if the to do has been added. Yeah, I actually think this is doing
Yeah.
the thing. So I
Seems
might,
like it. So
yeah,
I think
but
I can go back here. So I think what I can do here is now is to expect, right? To expect that the page waits for this or that this comes up. So it's like, sorry, one quick one. So it's like await, excuse me,
mhm. I
expect.
I
Oh,
I
exactly
just
this. Eco
I just want
pilot.
to say I like that one better because saying greater than 0, like what if it's 2? Like what if it adds it twice? Right? Like that would be a mistake. So I think to have count 1 is a lot better, and I should probably update my shit.
So Copilot came in handy. So basically, I'm waiting that the page is able
Mhm.
to locate my, copy DID function, and is also able to ensure that it has a count of one. So especially since we did the install for Playwright now, I'm gonna go back and run the test again and see if it. Let me close all the tabs that we had. See if they work perfectly this time around.
That was good to see yours because now I know for my completed one, I'll check to see if it has a count of 1 rather than
Yeah.
like just greater than 0.
Mhm.
Can you see the greens? Greens, greens,
See, this
greens.
is the part that's therapeutic. Once you run the test, See all the green check marks. It just makes me feel so good. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel like I be seeing red. So
Yeah, that is stressful. Red is not good. There we go. Everything passed. Oh, and I think if you look at the HTML again,
Yeah,
you'll see
oh yeah, let's look at it.
it
because I
should.
was like, why is the browser not popping up like it did when there were errors? You should give me browser pop-ups when everything is good too, right?
Yeah. Why you only focused on the negative?
All right, so let's sorry,
Oh, I
playwright.
thought you ran that already.
No, not yet.
Hamlet
Show.
said, "Can see where that would be therapeutic." People are finding this interesting. They're
No
taking
report
notes.
found.
Yeah. Huh? Interesting.
Uh,
Well,
well,
Did I
so
miss something?
I think
ah,
show report. I think there's a file that gets generated automatically, no, for your
yeah.
test.
Yeah,
Search
but
for report index.html. Is that there?
no. How do you check? I think that's Command P. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
used
know
to
I
this.
know
Yes,
I'm doing git ignore to it as well.
yeah, there's nothing.
Uh
But yeah, it is nice to see all the tests passing, so that's a win.
yeah. Hold on, let me see if I could find this thing real quick.
It should be in the root, I guess, but it's not.
Yeah, it's okay. Look for playwright report.
Yeah.
Playwright dash report.
Sorry.
Nope, that should have. So
No,
maybe it only generates the HTML when there's errors. That's kind of weird.
That's whack.
that is
Yeah.
negative. That is a
Yeah.
negative. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's I would say that's like pretty much the test and going through some of those shall we playwright. I don't know if there are any questions in chat or if you have any additional like insights or tips you want to give to wrap up, Nick, that would be amazing as well.
I don't really have anything more to add. We have about maybe six of them left, and as well as like the code snippets. But overall, like we just want to do everything we can to make sure everything is just kind of thoroughly tested.
Yeah,
Like we could sleep at night knowing that there's no broken tutorial uh, being built out or anything. We even have something that we're calling acceptance tests in another repo. That repo is called Bundler Bonanza. It's like my favorite repo name. But that's just testing Web5 in all kinds of different environments on Electron, React Native, Vite, React, all this kind of. We have like node tests and stuff. So I know that the stuff I'm doing isn't like as public as like DevRel stuff, but we are doing everything we can to make sure that um, nothing's breaking, and if it is breaking, then we're gonna be fully aware of it.
100%. Also,
Yeah.
thank you for upping on the stream. That was amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I used to stream too. I'm familiar with this stuff, so I wasn't shy or nothing.
Yeah, I have a quick question. How would you connect the database to this stuff so I can get into my more comfy space with SQL and data? So yeah, I'm assuming you're new to Web5. The entire concept of Web5 is combining, introducing your identity layer to the web and also giving you control of your own data. So the three pillars of Web5 of the Web5 SDK is your DIDs, which is decentralized identifiers, and also most importantly, especially connected to your question, decentralized web nodes. So these are the databases, so to say, they are your personal data store that you are fully in control over. It's stored with you or any host that you choose to, host this decentralized web nodes with. So storing your data, keeping records, all of those information is stored locally or remotely as your choice might be, but with you, right? And that is the database aspect of it, where it is no longer centralized on a different server, but with each of your users and yourself, if that's the case. So I would say check out the website. I think I dropped the link a second ago, and you'll be able to understand better how like the decentralized data and the decentralized identifiers come into play. But yeah.
Yeah, can I add on that?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
I love SQL, but I'm like I actually enjoyed the fact that I don't need to necessarily like set up a SQL database or anything like that to be able to add data to my application. It could be like completely front end, like it could be a completely front end project, but it's still pulling data from my DWN. So like there's
Yeah,
how you like write a record there, and then if you wanted to retrieve a record from that database, you would just do like records.query or records.read rather than doing like insert into table, da da da. Like you don't really have to create a table. I guess maybe like the protocol would be that, but it's actually really convenient, I will say, because you don't have to go through like both sets of like, oh, doing back end and then front end and all that. So that's all. Um, yeah. I don't have too much more unless there's more questions in the chat. I think this was really helpful. Thank you, Nick. And like I really appreciate what you all do for like to help Web5 move forward. You like you said you're doing a lot of behind the scenes work, but it's a lot of work.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. I'd low key be down for more stuff if it makes sense, more streams or whatever.
yeah.
Just
I
let me
like
know.
the sound of that.
Got y'all.
I love your Uti, by the way. She's sending my way.
Oh my what?
Your
Your hood.
Udi.
Oh yes, I wasn't supposed to, but I bought it from the merch site.
We're not supposed to.
Oh well, no, I wasn't supposed to at the time because they were still building the site. But I saw the link and I just instantly
Right.
bought it, and they were
Yeah.
like, we haven't even decided on the price yet." Like, so
I'm dead. When are we gonna
Gotcha.
get? We gotta get like free ones, right? Like or
yeah, I would hope so. I
like
mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
All
We'll
right.
see.
um, thanks so much, y'all. I think this was a good stream. We got like 5 minutes left. We don't gotta go all the way to the hour.
Yeah.
But I'll keep writing my tests on my own. And thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thanks, Ace. Thanks, Nick.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day. Bye.
Bye, bro.